your probability of getting someone's attention increases manifold, especially if you are doing something unique, different, and out of the box, which brings me to point no. 2. Girls are attracted to rare and valuable things. Have you ever heard of the phrase, gold is tested in the fire? Similarly, women are most attracted to a man who has proven himself to be a golden nugget. Think about it. Why do women spend so much time evaluating a man's character? Because they are looking for a man who has what it takes, who can provide security, love, and happiness to their children. They want a man who has the ability and capacity to solve problems and make things happen. This is why women are attracted to men who have accomplished something rare and valuable. Whether it's financial success, a strong family, a happy childhood, a healthy body, a prestigious job, emotional stability, a good sense of humor, confidence, dominance, leadership qualities, high status, or even knowledge and skills. This is why they like men who have worked hard to achieve these rare and valuable things. Whereas for men, physical beauty is more important because they don't have the luxury of time to evaluate a woman's character. Once a man ejaculates, he is done. The sperm can swim back to the ocean, but cannot change its destination. Hence, the only option left for men is to focus on physical beauty and youth, which increases the chances of having a baby in the womb. However, for women it's a whole different game because they carry the baby for 9 months, go through pain and trauma of delivery, and finally years of breastfeeding, which is why they need a reliable man to help them in this journey. That is why, when it comes to long-term relationships, you will never see a woman dumping a high-value man for a low-value man, but you will see a high-value woman leaving a low-value man. See the pattern here. These 2 points, the 9-to-1 ratio and the attraction towards rare and valuable things, explain why a good-looking woman chooses an unattractive man. One of the best examples is Holly Madison, who was the main girlfriend of the late billionaire Hugh Hefner. She was known for her looks and beauty, but she was married to a completely unattractive man. Both of them were not physically compatible, yet they had a happy relationship, which is the perfect example of the 9-to-1 ratio and the attraction towards rare and valuable things. Number 3, the biological imperative. From an evolutionary perspective, there is a biological imperative behind the preferences and choices made by men and women, which is to procreate and pass on their genes to the next generation. That is why the most important thing for a man is to have a healthy and fertile baby boy. Because of his sexual desires, a man will go to any lengths to satisfy a woman sexually. That is why men tend to be more promiscuous, whereas for women, the most important thing is to find a reliable man who can take care of her and her future offspring. Because of her maternal instincts, a woman will go to any length to test the reliability of the man. That is why women tend to be more selective. Therefore, from a biological standpoint, there is nothing like an unattractive man or an unattractive woman. In fact, the meaning of attractiveness is relative. Each person is beautiful and attractive in their own way, and the perception of beauty is different for each individual. And hence, the choice of a particular mate depends upon the preferences of both individuals. Number 4, women want a man, not a boy. Girls won't date a boy, no matter how good-looking he is, because in the mind of a girl, a boy is immature, whereas a man is a grown-up. And that is why women want a man and not a boy. It is a complete mismatch in their perception. That is why no matter how beautiful a girl is, she will always prefer a man who is older, financially, and emotionally stable, and has proved himself to be a man, not a boy. Number 5, women prefer jerks. Yes, this is a reality that many of us don't like to admit, but the data clearly shows that women prefer jerks over nice guys. Jerks are often portrayed as confident, dominant, high status, aggressive, fearless, and masculine. all of which are extremely attractive traits in a man. On the other hand, nice guys are often perceived as submissive, low status, fearful, passive and feminine, none of which are desirable traits in a man. In fact, in many cases, nice guys get friend-zoned by girls because they lack the masculinity needed to appeal to girls. So the moral of the story is, stop being a nice guy and start being a badass instead. Watch TV shows like Vikings, Spartacus, Game of Thrones, and movies like 300, Gladiator and Kingdom of Heaven to understand what it takes to be a badass instead of a nice guy. If you agree with these points, then show your support. Also, share your views and experiences in the comments below. And that's all for today. As always, thanks for watching.